modified it, that can be 30, 30, 30 from the knee and then from the stride. And then guess what? You just got in 180 throws in. Now, would you ever be asked to throw 180 throws? No. Are you doing, you're not throwing that as hard as you can. You're not going 1,000%. But think about, remember the difference. When you're doing work, it's max effort work, not max effort velocity. Does that make sense? When guys in pro ball and college ball, when they have the luxury of going to very few classes and a lot of baseball, or they just do baseball for a living, they're out 6-7 hours doing that stuff for an hour and a half. Just that work. Getting that repetition so they know exactly where that pitch is going to go. Okay, so that was sort of a condensed version, but I would ask that they would do this same thing once on their own in between just this, or if twice, because it's very little. Is anybody's arms strained at all? I'm guessing not from that. Okay, but it's work. All right. I want to talk about long toss. Okay. Does anybody know how to long toss? Have you taught them or talked about long tossing at all? And there's some different theories, but what's your take? Yeah, I don't know if it necessarily helps with velocity or arm strength, but getting used to the changeup, yeah. Now, go ahead. So you say get some air under it, and then not throw it on a line?
Not too much.
I know you don't know what I'm going to say next, apparently.
Be confident with your answer.
Good answer. I firmly believe, as do the majority of professionals, believe that when you long toss, you get air under it. You chuck it. Okay, so you're right. And literally throw it as far as you can. Not like a crazy man. But now that the weather's nicer, I assume they can get out somewhere and throw, even if it's on the street. But you want to throw it as far as you can without any awkwardness, without hurting yourself. So under control, but getting after it. Okay? Let's say you can throw, let's say from this wall to that wall down there, it's about 70, 75 yards. Let's say you can throw 75 yards and getting some air under it, okay? Once you get out there, let's say you make about 5 or 10 throws at max effort, max distance, okay? You want to start bringing it in, okay? When you start bringing it in, now's the time to begin closing that window down a little bit, okay? Instead of going that way, now you start bringing it back down and trying to throw it on a line. So even on the way out, okay? Coach McGuire and I are just throwing from here. I'm not throwing it on a line. I'm literally just throwing it like that, and I'm going to keep that effort for as far as I can throw it. Okay, we throw our 5 or 10 throws for max effort, whatever that number is. Now, every throw, you're going to take a step or two in, and you're going to really, it's this thing called pulling down, okay? I used to do this like crazy. My velocity went up almost 10 miles an hour doing this, okay? Maxing out, and as you come down, they do this. Who else has a ball? This thing called like pulling down, where you get out, whether it's a crow hop or the step behind shuffle, where you go boom and pull this part down, basically from here to here. It's called a pull down phase, okay? And you're not really concerned about release point. It helps a little bit with release point, but after you do that, this pull down phase really helps with the velocity. Okay, so even if you have to bounce it in, that's okay. You just don't want to bring it in slowly and throw duck farts or whatever, throw these lobs. Does that make sense? Okay? I would suggest this week, once if not twice, to get outside and long toss. Air under. Okay? Not so your arm's falling off, but almost as if you had to do it the day after the following day, 2 days later, to long toss. Okay? It is that important. You guys got about another month before the season starts, right? Okay? You could probably get 10 good long tossing sessions in before the start of the season. 2 to 3 a week, maybe every 3 days. Whether it's, here or outside, on a field, on your street, backyard, whatever, and long toss. I cannot stress how important it is for your arm strength and velocity. Okay? Now you can long toss in here and literally throw it, keep going higher and higher and higher off the nets. Okay? You can long toss in a cage. The cage does not affect what your arm does. Okay? So you can still, even if you had to come up here for a place to throw or whatever, you can still throw in a cage. Have you guys long tossed like that before? Does anybody work out? Has anybody ever worked out with weights or anything? You have? A little bit? When you work out with weights, if you do the same thing all the time, you know what the word plateau is? What does that mean? Yeah, it flats, like levels off, right? So if you do something different in the weight room, push yourself a little bit more, do a different exercise, an alternate exercise, you make progression, right? Same thing with this. When you throw and get after it, and get that, now, hey, if you say, hey, I throw 75 yards, guess what? Next week, if you do that twice, you're going to throw 80 yards next week. I guarantee you. You might throw 85 the following week after that. Okay? And guess what? When you get to like 100 yards, supposedly that equates to like 90 miles an hour, or very close to 90 miles an hour. It takes X amount of strength and force and velocity to throw a ball a certain distance. Otherwise, everybody can do it. So something to work on. So wherever you guys just go play long toss starting this week, find out how far it was. I mean, literally, take the time to find out how far it was. Or maybe you just know your dad or whomever standing by that tree. You're throwing from here. Within a couple weeks, you will throw probably 10 yards farther. Guaranteed. That, you have to be able to throw faster to throw it farther. That makes sense? Okay. Okay, here's all I want us all to do. Everybody grab a ball.
Let's go, fellas. Come on.
That one? All right, grab a ball. Let's spread out in here. Spread out. Spread out so you won't. So you got some room. Okay. Now, find your balance point. Find your balance point. Okay, hold it there for a second. Now, okay, I want you to take the ball and I want you to throw it higher than the top of this cage 5 times in a row without that left foot hitting the ground. Like catch it yourself, but about this high. So you can do it 5 times without letting that left foot hit the ground. Okay, go.